Hello and welcome back, and in this video we're going to create a new view. So let's go ahead and create a new group first, and we're going to call this views, and let's move this inside the onboarding. Okay, all right. By the way, I forgot to mention, and I'm glad I accidentally clicked on assets. So what I've done is I've downloaded 3 food photos and basically just drop them inside the assets catalog. And these are going to be the photos that we're going to be using for the completion steps, the photos that you've been seeing all along. These photos are basically coming from the XC asset. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and create our view. So we're going to create an empty file, and this empty file is going to be called, the name of the file is going to be animated page indicator. All right, and this is going to be a SwiftUI view. So we're going to import SwiftUI first, and we're going to create our struct animated page indicator conforming to the view protocol. Now, this is basically a custom SwiftUI view designed to show the row indicators or page indicators for the carousel. And this is once again going to be represented by small capsules or circles, which reflects the current page in the pagination flow. Capsule for the current and circle for all the other steps. Okay, now first thing we're gonna have in this is a total pages. We need to know how many total pages are there so we can display number of shapes inside the indicator. Now this information is going to be passed in whenever this animated page indicator is initialized. Right after this, we're gonna create another property called current index, and this is gonna be an integer type. Now this denotes the currently active page, which will appear differently from the inactive ones. For example, if the current index is 1 and total pages are 3, the second indicator will be styled differently, circles and capsules for this cases. Okay, so that's how we're gonna basically differentiate. Now let's go ahead and add some more properties, and let me talk about them. Okay, so we're gonna have indicator spacing, the spacing between these indicators, and we're gonna set some defaults here. So we're gonna set the spacing as CG float 12. Then we're gonna have indicator height, and let's set 7. We're gonna have active indicator width, CG float, and let's set it to 20 points, and inactive indicator width, let's set it to 7. So the indicator spacing is basically spacing between each indicator that has been created in our view. So it's basically spacing between these guys, right? Indicator height is basically height of all the indicators. The active indicator width is basically what's determining how big the shape or the width is going to be, and inactive ones is basically for all the others. Okay, so inactive indicator. Now you notice that the height and the width are 7 7, and if we define a basically capsule and give it same width and height, essentially that becomes a circle. Now if your capsule is wide in width, then it looks more like a capsule in horizontal direction. If its height is more than its width, then it looks like a vertical capsule. So that's the trick that we're going to use to basically create these indicators, and all the indicators are going to be capsule, but they're going to look circle in certain conditions. Now let's go ahead and create our body property. Now the view body property we'll construct a horizontal stack, an H stack of capsules, and for each page, it will check the current index matching to the current, basically indexes matching to the current index. If the current page it displays is basically matching the index, then it's gonna display a wider capsule. If not, then it'll display a thinner one, essentially making it a circle. And we're gonna apply the animation modifier to smoothly transition the width of the current index versus the next index. Okay, so we're gonna simply have an H stack here. And inside this H stack, first we can actually set this spacing, and spacing is something that we can actually set based on whatever the indicator spacing has been specified, right? So we can control that using the parameter here, and we're gonna create a for each. For each is gonna iterate 0 to less than total pages. It needs to ID each element, so it's gonna ID element by self because integer is hashable, and we get index for each of the page. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a capsule first. We're gonna fill this with white color, or actually you can set the foreground style as well. So let's go ahead and set the foreground style, and let's set it to gradient. Let's set frame with width as if the current index is equal to the index, then we want to use the active indicator width. Otherwise, we want to use inactive indicator width. Okay, and for the height, what we want to do is we want to use indicator height. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and format this. I'm gonna use Control M. Okay, there we go. And move this up. All right, perfect. Now, next we're gonna apply the animation modifier, and the animation modifier, the one that we're gonna use, which takes the animation itself, we're gonna say it's gonna be ease in out with duration of 0.3, and the value that it's gonna observe for the animation is going to be the current index. Okay, change of current index will trigger this animation. All right, so with this, basically our entire animated page indicator view is ready. Okay, so this is basically the page indicator view representing this page indicator right here. All right, okay, so let's go ahead and hop onto the next video, where we're gonna create our next component, which is onboarding navigation button. I'll see you guys there. Thank you.